freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same. And if you and I don't do this, then you and I may well spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free.
Hey everybody, Dan and Cheryl Todd with Gun Freedom Radio are coming to you from 2026 SHOT Show in fabulous Las Vegas, where we get to sit down with some amazing people from all over the nation, all over the world, who come together with a shared interest in the Second Amendment, in the firearms industry, and in helping to spread the knowledge about that. And on that point, I'm so excited to sit down with our friend Matthias Quellenberg, the German with a gun. He is a former German military instructor, a U.S. citizen, firearms trainer, founder of San Diego Firearms School, a writer, and a host advocating Second Amendment freedoms nationwide. Welcome to Gun Freedom Radio.
Good to be here.
I'm so excited. You and I met a few years ago at an event called AmCon, which is the alternative media conference for those of us that for some reason the rest of media out there kind of want to push off to the side because our topic is guns. Oh my, right? And we just clicked and we get to see each other every year at AmCon. And this is, I think, the first time you've come to SHOT Show?
My first time.
It's fantastic. What moved the needle for you that you were like, this is the year? I'm going to go conquer that multi-level, multi-facility, exhausting, you're going to get all your steps in and some event called SHOT Show.
It's an educational event for me. I've explored the gun community, the gun world so far for the past few years. And I just needed to broaden my horizon, especially now that I started the YouTube channel. I just wanted to look beyond what I've already explored and get to know other people and figure out what else is there in the industry.
Absolutely.
And I don't think I'm going to get to see everything, but
no.
I have to come back next year. Yeah. This is so big,
yes.
But yeah, I'm going to run out of mental capacity by the end of the day.
Yes, you will. So I have a question for you. So you're from Germany, obvious, and you were military trainer there.
Yeah.
Did you have access to firearms in Germany like you could have access to firearms here?
No. Civilians? No chance. Well, it is possible, but it is very difficult, it is very highly regulated, and it's super elitist, really expensive. And the gun community there is a really small, tight group of hunters, of collectors, of, just very, very few just enthusiasts and recreational shooters. Very, very few.
That's confusing to me because Germany has such a vast amount of historic firearms. And it's sad that they deprive the public to enjoy that.
Well, over the last little over a century, I guess the world has decided they can't trust us with guns. So.
Okay.
I tell you, it is strange to watch. Even here in America, the states that were our founding states, where freedom was born. These are the states that are now like just chucking our rights, down the toilet, basically. It's odd how that needle moves.
I had an interesting conversation with John Petrolino about exactly that. So in Germany, the Constitution lists all the human rights that we, I guess, consider human rights. Gun rights is not part of that. But it outlines all the rights, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, all the big ones that most Western countries share. And then Article 20 of the Constitution says every German has the right to resistance against anybody who attempts to abolish this democratic order if other means aren't available. And it comes right out of World War II.
Yeah.
So now, but considering the role that the United States played in liberating Germany from the Nazis, why don't we get a Second Amendment?
Right.
How are we supposed to resist if we don't get the Second Amendment?
That was my thought.
Pitchforks and torches?
Exactly.
So do you have any idea when, so after World War II, when they started taking the guns from the civilians?
Before World War II already.
Okay. And it just never
Like
stopped.
1933.
34. Yeah, 33, yeah.
That's when that started. I mean, there was a slow progression, even in the empire already, because the conservatives, the empire, the royals, the nobility, they wanted to hold on to their power. There was a democratic revolution, a liberal revolution in the late 40s, 48. And they wanted gun rights for the people. And they modeled their demand on the Second Amendment. But the nobility said, well, if we give you guns, then you're going to get rid of us, so let's not give you guns, because they wanted democracy.
Right there makes the point of why our Second Amendment is so important.
Yes.
And why we should be holding that line with everything we are, because if the royals are saying exactly what you said, like, what else do we need to say?
Yeah, and then, after World War I, Versailles gutted it even more. And then World War II, or before World War II, when the Nazis came in power, they gutted it even more. And we just didn't get it back after the war.
So when you were in Germany, did you know about our laws and the privilege of our Second Amendment?
I knew it existed. I didn't know any details. When I first came to America, all I knew was the NRA. I didn't know any of the other organizations, the local ones, some of the other ones that are big now. I don't know how big they were back then. But even when I got my first license to carry in Massachusetts, I just stuck a gun in my pocket, and because the education wasn't all that great. At that time, and I got to be honest with you, if I ever was in a situation where I had to draw the gun, I would have gone to jail. I would have done everything wrong.
Yeah.
But now that I'm an instructor, that's my field. I know a lot more now, and I'm a little bit appalled at how little education we get. In California, we had a law that made it illegal to advertise to minors, that included gun safety education. And,
It's maddening to me. And education, I'm connected, I'm the state director for Women for Gun Rights, and our key phrase is education, not legislation.
Correct.
Is the key to safety.
Yeah.
And educating even the youngest, we aren't afraid when our little 5-year-old granddaughter goes to open the silverware drawer, right? Because there are sharp knives in there. We're not afraid because we have taught her from the youngest age what a knife is for, what it's not for, how to interact safely with it as her age has progressed. And, she doesn't cut her own steak at the dinner table, but our 11-year-old granddaughter does because she's come to that place. But if we'd always made knives taboo, right, and everybody freaks out every time she walks into the kitchen because there might be knives in there, this is how we've treated guns in so many areas in the United States. I can't imagine what it's like in a place like Germany.
The funny thing is, I got into guns out of spite, just because at home I couldn't.
Yes.
I wanted to do it here because over there they won't let me.
Yes.
And now that I'm in California and I teach, I get people to take a class with me that are complete beginners in their 50s and 60s. And we've legislated so much away and reduced the exposure so much that in California, I can't speak to the other states, but we've had about 2 generations of people that grew up completely without any exposure to guns. Yes. They don't know anything about firearms.
And the funny thing is, California used to be the biggest producing gun show in the country. You could not go through it in 4 days. You just couldn't.
Wow.
And it was so big. I remember going there with a truck and filling my truck and coming home. And California has changed so quickly.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it's another country. Yeah. And I'm glad to see people like you there to still fight the fight. You know?
And you're with your affiliation in California with the advocacy is San Diego Gun Owners.
San Diego County Gun Owners PAC.
There you go, County Gun Owners PAC. And that's a great organization. They're very active. They're very visible. very vocal, and I'm so glad that they are there and that you have connected with them. The main thing I want to talk to you about, though, today is you have started your own podcast, and you are filling such a unique and I don't want to say a small niche, but it is very unique, and it's kind of surprising that nobody has thought of this before. But coming from your own experience, your podcast is called The Immigrant Gun Owner.
That's right.
So talk to us about, did this idea form at AmCon, or did you come to AmCon to get the idea? Or where did this come from? But you're using it so well. Some of the names I've seen you
Thank
have
you.
on already, I'm like, you are a mover and a shaker, my friend.
Thank you. I mean, I try. It is a pet project of mine. So I'm not holding my breath that it'll be monetized or that I get sponsors or whatever. I just like to tell the stories. And the way I got into this was when I first met Mike Schwartz, the executive director of San Diego County Gun Owners, at a gun show in San Diego. We were talking casually, and he said to me, wait. You're way too interesting. We need to stop talking, and I'll have to have you on at Gun Owners Radio and do a Magnum episode with you. And then when I walked into the radio studio, I was like, man, this is so interesting. We just sit down here and we shoot the shit and we talk. We have that equipment there, but somebody runs it. I think I can do this. So I have noticed as an instructor, as a range safety officer, and as an advocate, the people that you see that are visible, it's a very homogeneous crowd. But I know from personal experience, gun owners exist everywhere in America. You just don't see the immigrants because we all come from a background where it's either illegal or frowned upon. And so the way that we treat gun culture is very different because we didn't grow up with this. And I want to find the immigrants that own guns or the children of immigrants or subject matter experts and talk to these people to encourage other immigrants to be more outspoken, to be more open about their gun ownership, to be visible, and to participate in the Second Amendment rather than just go shoot and go home. Or, have a gun in the drawer and not even go shoot,
Well, one of the proud things we get to do when we had our gun shop, we had Easy Firearms. We had immigrants coming over to fly at Lufthansa for training, military training, and the people there were from Germany, and they came.
You probably mean Luftwaffe.
Yes, I'm sorry.
The Air Force, Luftwaffe.
But
And
they were also training for the airline,
Yeah, for
Lufthansa.
Lufthansa.
Oh, okay.
And so they would come and they come to the shop, and most gun shops would ignore them because they were immigrants.
Yeah.
And we helped them get firearms. They got to use them. They were shooting. We went shooting with them. It was a really good group of people to meet. Then when they went home, we would buy their gun back, and they loved it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great opportunity. So I'm glad to see that you're working with immigrants that appreciate our rights. Okay, and follow our rules and enjoy the sport.
And they would put on the best Oktoberfest
Oh yes.
on the planet.
I'm
That was a
not
bit of-
surprised.
That was my benefit. So we got to go to all the.
They would actually fly in food from Germany.
Really?
It was amazing. It was there was a lot of drinking and a lot of dancing and a lot of beer.
So do you help immigrants learn how to have access to firearms? Legal firearms.
So most of the time, people that find me are people that live in San Diego that want to take classes. I'm not sure I'm big enough at this point that my name is out there enough that immigrants specifically seek me out. But whenever I meet somebody, I make sure I strike up a conversation and I say, hey, look, what's your story? I want to learn more about you. Do you want to talk to me? How can I help you? What can we do together? I'm not at the point yet where immigrants specifically come to seek me out. Maybe one day that'll happen.
I believe it will. And one of the guests that you've just had on, Gabby Franco, she grew up in Venezuela, which is big in the news right now.
Yeah.
When she came on, was it before or after the Maduro incident?
After.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So tell us about that conversation.
I met somebody coincidentally out in public. And we had a conversation. I don't remember. So she told me she just came from Vegas, and I said, I'm going to Vegas next week. And she thought, that's SHOT Show. So I said, well, how do you know about SHOT Show? Well, gun owner and whatever. And she said, so you're with San Diego County Gun Owners. There was a guest speaker at a gun prom a few years ago, Gabby Franco. I think you should talk to her. So I called up Mike, who had her number, and he gave me her number. We connected, and she said, yeah, I'll be happy to be on your show. So it's funny how that happens sometimes, completely by accident.
She is an Olympic level shooter. She is part of Women for Gun Rights, and she speaks so well because she speaks from experience of her nation going from a time when firearms were accessible to when the new regime came in and firearms were no longer accessible, and the country just went into this, the socialism and the communism, the Marxism. It just took this thriving, wealthy, beautiful nation to be basically a mess where people were starving. The government was shooting at their citizens who were disarmed, and all they had was rocks to throw back. Horrible. And you can trace it back to when they were disarmed. That is when everything shifted.
And I've had some really interesting conversations with people that have had similar experiences in Great Britain, in Australia, Vietnam, Soviet Union. You know, it's not just the communist countries, it's Great Britain and it's Australia. And, you know, it doesn't have to be one of those quote-unquote evil governments that we always like to demonize. It can happen in a Western country.
Yes, it
So
can.
true. I think in the UK now they can't even have like pointy knives or something, you know, pointy forks.
You can't walk around with a screwdriver.
Yeah, it's like, you know, but I'm a TV repairman. You know what I mean? Like maybe I need a screwdriver. I know there's an issue even here in the States, speaking of pointy knives, that there are certain states that they have knife laws.
Yeah, Hawaii is a big one.
And so if you're a chef, right, and you have your own set of knives because you are a professional chef, then you have to strategize how to get from your home to your job because with your own set of knives. It's insanity to me, and people have met legal issues. And the Second Amendment includes all arms, including knives.
And so we're at SHOT Show, so our thing is guns, obviously, and I feel like a lot of the other arms are sometimes overlooked unfairly. But the Second Amendment says the right to keep and bear arms. It doesn't say some arms. It doesn't say certain arms.
Thank you.
It says arms, period.
Yes.
And you know, that's a sword, that's a club, that's a gun, that's an automatic rifle.
Yes.
It's all of those.
Yes.
Absolutely. And we have some great organizations that are doing advocacy work. San Diego County Gun Owners, not the least of which, doing this work. And so if you're out there and you are frustrated with what's going on, you can be part of the solution. I mean, Matthias came all the way from Germany, and he has tapped himself into training. He's tapped himself into advocacy. And I want to say, you know, those of us who live here, that were born here, sometimes we don't understand and appreciate as much that level of freedom. And I'm challenging you out there today to look into what you can do personally to move that needle back towards freedom. Well, Matthias, I am so excited about all that you have going on. And how many episodes do you have in the can, as they say, on YouTube right now?
I think I'm at episode 9.
I love it, and I'm behind, but I'm trying to watch all of them because truly, this is good work. These are fascinating stories that you're helping to tell.
But one thing, Matthias, I didn't recognize you because this is not what you regularly wear.
Oh. Is it lacking the gold shoes or the lederhosen?
The
Which one?
lederhosen.
The lederhosen.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, it didn't fit in the suitcase.
I just could always recognize you when you were at.
And I've worn those always at every GRPC, and I've thought it's kind of my trademark. I was really bummed I couldn't fit it in the suitcase.
Yes, it really is. It's like polka dots are my camo, and your lederhosen or your camo. I love it. Well, tell folks how they can continue to follow the work that you're doing. There could be immigrants out there watching right now that are like, gosh, I would just love to connect with somebody that gets me, that gets the journey I'm on, and tap into your YouTube channel.
So the YouTube channel is the Immigrant Gun Owner. My Instagram is San Diego Firearms School, and you can reach me either direct message me through there or sandiego.firearmsschool@gmail.com.
Fantastic. Thank you again so much for being on and for all that you do. I love that we're going to start seeing you maybe now here every year as you slowly unpack SHOT Show. And really, if you just visit some of these booths, what did they say? Was it Beretta last night, Cassie?
500th anniversary? 500 years.
500 years.
Beretta?
Yeah.
Wow.
They started making cannons.
How insane! Like 15 generations, I think it said on the website. I'm asking my daughter, who's on the other, Cassie, on the other side of the camera. I didn't realize that. So, visit those kind of booths. You'll probably get interviews to your heart's content. And this is such a great place to meet people and form relationships. But
they should do a commemorative gold cannonball for the 500th anniversary.
Yeah.
Well,
And
the
give them
price
to
of
us.
gold right now, oh my gosh.
Maybe gold plated.
Yeah, right? Gold spray painted. I don't know, because gold has gone crazy right now.
500 years.
I know, right? Anyway, everybody, stick around. First of all, connect with Matthias Quellenberg, the Immigrant Gun Owner YouTube channel, all of his social media. These connections are important and why we do this work here. We want people to we want to form community. So connect with Matthias and stick around because we've got lots of great interviews coming up from the 2026 SHOT Show.